AJ Ouellette joins us, Saskatchewan Roughriders running back who underwent an unbelievable body transformation, man. Like, this made headlines across the country and Canada, probably even some in the United States. How did this all come to fruition?
Yeah, so first off, I didn't think it was going to take off and be front page information, but I didn't like the way I was feeling at the end of last year, not being able to run and do all the stuff I'm used to. My body kind of got a little fat, I should say. And I was talking trash with all the coaches at my gym back home in Ohio. And it was, you can't stick to a diet because you don't have the discipline, basically calling each other fat.
And I feel like you're a pretty disciplined guy, though.
Yeah. And I told him, I said, don't let me flip that switch. I'll go to a dark place and you'll lose. And luckily, the coaches at the gym also have that switch and found the dark place because everyone had a crazy transformation. We set up, we all threw in money. We'll let the kids from the gym vote on who won. So like all the coaches dropped 20 plus pounds and like just everyone looks awesome. I did put a restriction on mine. I was not cutting below 200 pounds. So on weigh-in day, the last day I weighed 200.6 and I was like, I probably couldn't have planned that out any better. So
perfect.
Yeah.
And your initial weigh-in was 225?
Yeah, 225 point something.
So almost exactly. Can you go through what led to this in terms of your diet and your workout routine?
Yeah. So diet-wise, I started with a 48-hour fast to kickstart the transformation. I said if I can't stick to 48 hours without eating, I'm not going to stick to 2 months with a crazy regimen. And then it went into just a carnivore diet. I was just eating meat and eggs for two weeks. And it was one meal a day. It was a big meal, but it was just one meal a day.
At what time of the day?
Around 5, 6 o'clock. So I'd go all day. I was busy enough in the morning with my own workouts and then coaching that I didn't notice I was hungry until the day was over. And I was like, I could probably eat something. But increased my water intake. So trying to get a gallon, 2 gallons of water and electrolytes in a day kind of helped feel full. After about 2.5, 3 weeks, I was dropping weight a little bit too much. So I added in fruit and some protein shakes to try to keep my weight above. Because like I said, I didn't want to drop below 200 pounds. And then once it got closer to the transformation, I did the wrestler cut. I cut the water out to kind of make myself look full make myself look shredded. And then I had a carb load day, which not having carbs in 2 months and then having like pancakes the night before, like pictures to like kind of make yourself look full. That was a treat in itself. Workout wise, I stuck with my sports performance training. We cut out heavy lifting. We did sports performance wise. We did eccentric and isometric work to keep, everything healthy because I was at a deficit eating. So I didn't want to be moving heavy loads and, tear a tendon, muscle tear, something. So eccentric, a lot of speed work because our coaches always talk about it. Fat doesn't sit in positions that move fast. So if you're moving fast, you're jumping, fat's going to burn off. So I added a lot of plyometric and speed work. And then I had a friend who was training high rocks and she did not have a partner to train with. And workouts that difficult if you don't have a training partner. It's tough. So on the days as he walked in, I just put my hat backwards and said, we're going to run until I can't run no more. And I'd jump in and work out with her sled pulls. It'd be a good hour or 30 minutes to an hour workout. And that was the cardio I needed to help shred that fat.
Those are burners, dude. Yeah. Sheesh. So I want to go back to the diet for a second. So 2 months, carnivore diet. You said around 5, 6 o'clock, you're eating, like, let's say how many grams of protein?
Oh, grams of protein? I'm over 200 grams of protein.
In that meal on its own? So you eat like one whole chicken?
Chicken, my biggest thing, I had a lot of elk, beef, and eggs. So I'd have steak 2 times a week. I would make a giant bowl of ground beef and eggs and then eat that throughout the week. And then I'd always have salmon 1 or 2 times a week.
So like literally big portions though.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're eating 200 grams in one meal.
Yeah.
And then that was literally the entire 2 months.
There was
you said you added,
and then 2.5 weeks, and then I added in like a lunch to where it was either eggs, protein shake, or fruit. I added in fruit there at the end, and then I wanted to see how dairy was going to treat, so I went out and got some raw milk and some raw dairy products and added that in there towards the end. Made the protein shakes a lot better, a lot easier to get down. So
no vegetables in there at all? No greens?
No greens. I cut that out just to see how the body respond, and inflammation cut down. I mean, now when I go out, I'll get a salad or something at a restaurant. But yeah, I just wanted to stick to the carnivore diet. That seemed to be the best I saw on transformation research I did before we started. So I stuck with that to see how it did. It turned out pretty well.
So not eating any vegetables was due to the idea to reduce inflammation?
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting.
And then the whole pasta, rice, and all that I cut out as well to see. And yeah, inflammation, the hip joints were feeling great in that 2 months. And then you go out to celebrate, you get ice cream, you get pizza, and you're like, oh, my shoulders, my elbows, my ankles are sore. So yeah, we're done with that kind of food.
Okay, man, that's really intriguing. I think that could help a lot of people out there. As it relates to your season last year, coming off it, watching video, doing analysis with your new running backs coach, Andrew Harris, what did you see last year that you wanted to change with this body transformation on the field?
Yeah, just open space, movement. I feel like the only thing I was used at in pass game was pass protection, which that's probably the best asset of my game. So yes, use me in that as much as you want, but I feel like I can add in more into the pass game. And Andrew agreed I needed to slim down a little bit. He showed me videos from his career. They were highlights, and he said, pay attention to the way I look and the way I move at the beginning versus the way I look and move in the middle. And you could tell that he kind of bulked up, and he was having trouble breaking tackles, moving. His balance wasn't there. So he sent me workout regimens, balance-wise and mobility. I took those. Some of the other workout things, I thought I could add in a little bit different and better methods. So I took his balance and mobility workouts and agreed that I needed to kind of slim down to make my threat in the pass game a little bit more and open field moves.
What were some of the nicks, I guess we can call them, that you were dealing with that now hopefully you're fully healthy from last year?
Yeah, so I had a labrum issue in my hip, and it was just getting achy. And talking to some other doctors, I had some shots put in my hip to try to stop the pain. Well, so many shots could weaken tendons, and my quad tendon ended up getting tendinopathy, so there's little tears in my quad. So anytime I made a cut, my quad had to contract. It was just a sharp pain being sent through my hip, and that was just from kind of overwork with those shots. So now managing kind of the structure of the hips and workload, the hip pain kind of went away. And talking to 3, 4, 5 doctors in the off season, specialists in the hip, they gave me regimens, and like I said, that's how I kind of got into the inflammation. Because the inflammation, you're going to feel the pain, and then you're going to start running differently. Well, if you get the inflammation down, you're going to run normal, and that's when everything's going to start working better. So, yeah, I'm excited to get going and feeling healthy.
If I remember right, Corey Mace was talking about being on you for not squatting so heavy in season. Is that right?
Yes, yeah.
And are you going to change that?
I'm going to change it, yes. I'm going to work into isometric stuff and eccentric stuff tendon-wise. I do think you need to squat heavy to, stay at your peak. I just don't need to be squatting 700 pounds in season. I think.
How many plates is that on the bar?
Plates?
We're ready to count.
Yeah, kgs or pounds here. What are we doing? But yeah, I'm still going to work out. I'm going to still have my 3 days, my post game lift, my strength day, and then my power day all in there. It's just going to be little change to where I'm not just putting a bunch of weight on my back and moving it. It's going to be kind of set different positions, like I said, balance wise.
When you say post-game lift, is that the day after the game?
Yeah, day after the game, just get the blood flowing, moving everything, trying to get the blood to where it needs to be healed, all the bumps and bruises.
And then the 2 other lifts come when in the week?
Normally days 1 and 3. So it'll be 2 days out before the game and then 4 days out before the game. Will be the big lifts. The power day is going to be closer to the game for me. I like feeling fast, explosive, closer to the game.
So 2 days out, and then that gives your body time to recover to be explosive again?
Yep.
That's the thinking.
And then I do hit a mini lift the day of the game. And that's just plyometrics, jumping, just to kind of feel like a badass, I guess.
Well, you look like it on the field. There's actually some interesting, I guess we can call it data or ways of doing things in terms of the walkthrough day. And it comes from my alma mater that I know closest at the University of Guelph, where they do what they call Fast Fridays. And they actually are trying to get the system functioning fast to be prepared instead of a slower pace and walking around. Have you thought about anything like that, for yourself and perhaps the team overall?
Yeah. So we did the same thing in college, called them Fast Fridays as well. And the mindset was the last rep you do before game day is a full speed rep. So instead of walking through it, I think at this level, everybody's different. So I agree on walkthrough days before, just to make sure everyone's detailed on what their assignment is. So if you're doing stuff full speed, you can kind of get away with it from being a super athlete, some of these guys. But if it's slow and everything, coaches don't miss a step when it's a walkthrough day. So making sure every step is where it needs to be, hand placement, execution of the play. And then if the guy needs to do speed, go to the weight room, go outside, kind of get stuff moving. I do think the guys need to move between that last practice day that's full speed and game day. Like, that's a long time to just be sitting, laying down, letting the legs just collect blood, get rusty. So some 30 minutes, hour, just get moving fast and get the blood moving.
It's interesting because some of the data that I've heard supports it. You talk about tracking workload and the analytics and all the kinds of stuff that you can do now with computer science. And it seems like you're right on it.
Yeah. The stuff that we can track is off the charts. I'm trying to get it more into my gym so we can get these athletes, but it's tough with school sports, extracurricular lifting, and then they're all being teenagers as well. So it's hard to track as much as they're doing. It's a little easier with the pros. We know as soon as they go home, they're probably sitting down because their legs are tired.
Yeah. Do you still view Winnipeg as the standard or team to beat in the West Division, or has that shifted to your team?
CFL is a little. I think the reason people love CFL is because it can be anybody's team, anybody's day. Like, it doesn't matter. We got some good teams in the West. I'm excited to see the way it unfolds. I hope the target's on our back. I think it's just going to raise the level of play in the guys in our locker room. I know nobody in our locker room is going to fold from pressure. So I hope the target's on our back.
And you guys didn't fold last year when you were going through the 7-game unbeaten streak. Corey Mace has talked about this a little bit. And I don't know the song title, to be quite honest, or if he got dressed up, but something about dealing with the rain. Like, how impactful was that from a mental mindset? Because you guys did not fold, even though you could have after going so long without winning.
Yeah. Tributes to Coach. I don't know how he finds methods to keep guys motivated and like the right timing for certain messages and stuff, but he is awesome at the head coaching job. He's just awesome. But as certain individual players, like I can tell myself, like I stick to the routine because I know the routine works. So we might be losing. I know I'm frustrated. I wasn't playing, and I thought at that time I needed to motivate people. So I'm getting in there, doing my extra work, trying to keep people like, hey, keep going. And hearing from a head coach that he's not worried about where we're at right now because he knows the process that we're putting in, and work is always rewarded. Hard work works, as some people say. He knew that we were putting in proper work, and he was like, it's just a matter of time. Get through the storm, and we'll come out with some victories. and the team kind of stuck together, kept going to work, and didn't look at the losses too much, just tried to learn from it, and it worked out towards the end.
Yeah, it was something about can't stand the rain.
Yeah, it was.
Was he in character? Did he put on a get-up?
I wish I could remember. I just know he came in dancing from the hallway. I'm like, oh, God, Coach, okay, here we go. But he still got moves. He still moves well. So.
Okay, big man.
Yeah.
Slick feet.
Yeah. I don't know what his sack celebration was back in the day, but.
Probably patting that belly.
Yeah. Funny, I just sent him a video from a podcast, and it was like Julian Edelman. He was like, what's up with these coaches these days? Like, why do they all look like they can still play? We need these fat coaches back. And I told Coach I was going to bring him some ice cream.
I was thinking you were going to bring him
my new
eating regimen, right?
Bring fat coaches back.
I'll get you out on this because I checked in with Trevor Harris about it. You guys are planning to do your, what sounds like now, annual drive to training camp together?
Yeah. Still situating vehicles up there, making sure I got something to drive. But yeah, when it gets this time, we both get a little amped up. We're like, all right, who's got the playlist going? We're getting snacks. Now our snacks are going to be a little bit more healthy.
Trevor said he has 5 songs on his playlist. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, it's the same 5 on replay. It doesn't matter if we're watching film, we're lifting, we're out there running routes. It's the same 5. And I'm like, he goes, dude, I just hit shuffle.
Which 5 are they? Do you know them?
I don't know at this point, but it's like a motivational speech song, and then there's like a country song, and there's a gospel song. But yeah,
so there's a little bit of variety in there.
Yeah, there's
among the 5.
Yeah, he sent me one. It was played it last night. I was in his room. We were doing some recovery stuff. He goes, I added 2 more songs to my playlist, and it was like a Riley Green song. I'm like, all right, man, good for you.
That's a big deal, going from 3 to 5.
Yeah.
Well, safe travel to training camp, and we'll catch up with you during the season. Thanks, AJ.
Thank you.